Crouch. Bind. Set.
Joe presents the House of Rugby, together with Guinness.
Are we on? We need to put... we've put 50p in the meter, and we are up and running. Good evening, Dream Team. How are you all? I think we can do better than that. Good evening, Dream Team. How are we all? So this is a very exciting night for us. Would you believe this is we have been invited back for another live show, which, if any of you saw the first one, is a slight miracle in its own right. But it's an absolute pleasure to be here. We are recording this evening. Hopefully someone has told you that by being here you might be on camera and that kind of thing. You're certainly going to get a fair amount of abuse from the people that we're bringing up on stage. It is lovely to have you all here tonight, though. And without further ado, I'm going to click record, and away we go. And we're going to start by saying... a very good evening to you all and a very warm welcome to Flatiron Square. And welcome to our second live House of Rugby. Brought to you by our very good friends at Joe and our very good friend Arthur Guinness. And those of you who've got a little bit of work to do, you might want to make friends with Arthur Guinness Clear, but we'll come to that a little bit later on. That makes the sponsors very happy. It's a gag between them and us. You guys just let it wash over your heads. Obviously, there's been a huge amount of chat in the world of rugby over the last 48 hours or so around the weather. And I think it's fair to say we've got an inordinate amount of hot air for you this evening. So without further ado, would you please welcome to the stage the one, the only, the Hurricane, Mr. James Haskell!
Hello.
It's not exactly...
What is going on here?
It's not exactly built for a dramatic entrance, but sidle your way on. And without further ado, Ireland's favourite son, ladies and gentlemen, the typhoon that is Mr. Mike Tindall. Come on up, Tiz.
Ask, how did you do it?
Well done.
Mate, you're about to fight some big mute and you can't even get round a corner that's got 4 foot of space.
We're off and running.
What happens when you're so
I'm
broad?
really flexible. Just don't put me in an arm lock.
You can't use that word.
Don't put me in an armbar, headlock, or any sort of thing that's a test of my ability.
Just stand up and punch me in the face and please knock my teeth out. So
do me a favour.
Again.
Oh, yeah. You're right, lads, eh? Thought you'd come at me tonight, would you? What an amazing crowd. Great to see everyone here this evening again. I can't believe we actually got to a second live show. I tried my best to ruin it. But I'm under strict instruction tonight not to mention... No, I won't do it yet. I won't say what I'm not supposed to say.
We've had a little pep talk backstage.
We did, yeah. It was more of a... You know, like they heard when Ricky Gervais did the Golden Globes and he made a few jokes and they pinned him up against the wall and they were like, who the fuck do you think you are? I've just had that from most of the Joe team.
But we can say to you... How the best to enjoy an evening like this is only to have 1 pint of Guinness.
Very good.
Yes.
And drink really responsibly and sip it and taste it.
Yes.
It's lovely.
Lovely. Or go for Guinness Clear, which I was actually supping before. That's H2O, because I'm a professional.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Can we just say good evening to Mr. and Mrs. Haskell as well? They're back in the
Mum
house.
and Dad are in the
and
house.
Your bro
and my brother,
as well.
Yeah.
Good evening to the Dream Team.
Lovely.
They've missed out on a few shagging stories, so they'll find out a bit more about you.
Right.
I think there's a weird...
where you're wrong.
There's a weird fetish. They go home and go, oh, James did this.
Yeah.
Maybe we should try it.
They're normally at home clapping me on. Go on, Axe, go on. Go on, son. Go on, boy. Go on. Send it in. Send it in, ball.
Send it in. I can't believe you said that.
You thought you were going to out-embarrass me. I will never be embarrassed. I have no shame. My mum and dad, they're lovely people.
There are 1 or 2 people who thought, oh, a rugby show, that sounds quite interesting. I'll come and have a listen to that in the middle of the World Cup.
Yeah.
They are lost already for them. Producer Si, I've had quite a busy week of it, but producer Si has loaded the gun early on and said that he's seen a tweet this week that says, James Haskell just recorded a new set of amazing videos for fans. Order yours now at whatever the website is. Order a customised, personalised and unique video message from James Haskell for £55.
Is there fucking anything you won't do for cash?
Well, do you know
the question here says, is there nothing you won't do for money off the back of it?
Well,
take it away.
Well, the honest answer is absolutely not, right? Because I tell you why. Because the gas man and electricity board do not take rugby stories or old England stash in payment, right? And I spend a lot. And actually, do you know what? That £55 one is the cheaper version. I actually charge them 81 quid on the other platform. And I'm so far up to 370 videos I've done, so you do the math on that.
Are you kidding me?
Oi, I tell you why, because everyone contacts me going, Hass, mate, you know, I've got a stag do. You couldn't call out my mate and call him a dick, could you? So I just press record for 81 quid and go, your mate's a dick. Send. Who's fucking laughing now? Okay? Who's laughing now? So yeah, I've done it a number of times. Do you know what it is?
So
It's
when are we
birthdays,
producing our one?
Yeah. When we got our own stories.
We only do it to
If I do the
high-class
maths,
people and we
what is
tell
that,
them they're
about
jolly nice blokes.
£6,581. 61 pounds.
No, more than that. It was actually in dollars, so it's more than that. But
It was in
yeah,
dollars?
yeah, and also, so I've got two platforms. But it is actually quite a unique thing, because if you want birthday messages, you want nutrition tips, fitness. Right, you laugh, but you'll all be booking it later. You will be, because 365 other people have, and there's probably slightly more here this evening. So
It's good for business.
Mum and Dad
Good
did
for
a Christmas
business.
present. Christmas is coming.
Has anyone
Sign 'em up.
Has anyone here actually ordered a Haskell video online?
Don't be shy. Tell the truth. The someone Keno will be here.
We're an untapped.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
God!
yeah.
You're
Literally.
communicating with your. You're running us to pay to get a
of course he
message.
does.
That's how it works.
Wait,
You don't
unbelievable.
speak to him. He's too big time to talk to his
course
brother.
he
That's the
is,
only
yeah.
way you can get him to say a message
If
by
you
getting him
want
to
to
mug
speak
him
to me,
off.
book an appointment.
Yeah. Brother, I never fucking liked you. Mug you off.
Yeah, exactly.
The other remarkable thing this week is that we have discovered. If any of you, I don't know how many of you are Leave EU members here, but Leave EU have pulled together an advertisement with Nigel Farage on a beach in a pair of budgie smugglers, looking absolutely. They've superimposed his head, and it is genuinely 100%, no word of a lie, your
got
body
that- yeah.
that they have used.
It's got that shit tat, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's got that. Yeah, gives it away.
Are we happy that we're?
No, well, so
Are you suing them?
well, no, we say that. You say
Well,
that.
it's
So-
not
so-
often you
More
cut off
money.
the head and you get a better face.
That is true. but how bad would it be if it was the other way around? My face and Nigel
upgrade.
Farage's body.
It's a lose-lose, right?
Obviously, the beautiful world of social media. Some of you will be taking photographing stuff tonight, and we'll post things. That's great. But obviously, when you've got any problems, people are much more eager to send that to you. I told you the story, when I got the ball kicked into the back of my head against Ireland. I was wearing a big red scrum cap. Owen Farrell booted into the back of my head, which is pretty amazing considering he couldn't get it over the post, but he managed to hit my head. And I knew he did it on purpose, so he can kick, which is useful. And obviously in social media, everyone posted, going, "Have you seen this, mate?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have seen it. That's my fucking head rocketing backwards and forwards."
Well, technically you didn't because it was the back of
Well,
your
no,
head.
but
yeah,
when
so-
I saw the clip of it, I was fully aware that I almost got brain damage and embarrassed in front of 80,000 people or 1 million people, and people were just sort of, abusing me the whole time.
The irony is most of the people thought Hash normally does have his eyes in the back of his head because he can't fucking catch it.
This is true. This is very true. And I basically, so people started sending me this thing of Nigel Farage with his head on my body talking about leaving the EU. So I laughed it off. But after like 30, 40 times, I just screenshot it, sent it to my agent, and they actually sent them a letter today, and they've taken it down.
cash money.
No, I couldn't sue them because apparently I did try anything for a bit of cash. Well, listen, honestly, I could keep my wife in champagne and foie gras. It's not easy, you know what I mean? Yeah, they said because the people who took the photo, they own the rights, so I couldn't do it. And I just think it's not great because, this Brexit thing, whether you were kind of a Remainer or you wanted us to leave, I think now everyone is so bored of it that if someone offered to stick an aubergine up my arse, to never have to hear about Brexit, I would bend down and just get on with it. I think everyone's sick of
Again,
it. Nobody goes
Mr. and
again.
Mrs. Haskell, welcome. Yeah, try that one later,
Again.
yeah?
Yeah, again, yeah.
I like the way
Proud
you-
parents, love me. Love me.
I like the way you identified as this Brexit thing. That's
Yeah.
a stronger political analysis.
Well, no, but it is.
As
Everyone
we've heard
cared
for a
to
while.
start with. Now everyone doesn't care. Everyone's lost it. If I'm honest, if I can make it disappear like that, would you matter what happened? Because nothing's ever going to happen. Would you want it to disappear? Is everyone bored of it? Exactly. Everyone's fucking bored of it.
I got
Hask for PM.
I got sent an email today from someone who wrote a poem that should be and he said, "Please, could you pass this onto the Queen to read out in Parliament as her speech?" Yeah, fucking no problems, pal. Yeah,
That's fusing establishments as well. I like that.
it was I read it out to producer Si earlier. It's the corniest poem that's ever been fucking written. Yeah, she'll definitely read that out. No problem.
Just slide it into her
Yeah,
Christmas
yeah,
speech and she
exactly.
addresses
Just
the
a
nation.
question.
Oh, there's the red book.
Just a question.
on top.
The Queen doesn't want a personalised video, does she? hypothetically, because she's a bit of a fan. I met her a couple of times.
What a Christmas present
Hello,
that'd
Mr.
be.
Haskell.
I might get that for Christmas.
Oh, you
Here
should
you
do.
go.
Yeah, imagine
Oi,
that.
Queenie,
Your
Yeah.
Majesty.
no one.
Yeah. Shoot that man! Yeah, we're like that, getting the security guard straight round. I don't know who he is, but kill him.
I'd love to know what she could charge, actually. Just sit there printing money.
She does sit there printing money.
Yeah, all right, fair
What are you
dues.
talking about? She owns London or wherever it is.
Yeah.
Actually, it's great to see, because last time we did a live show, obviously all of you quite edgy, we're in this part of town, there's a few fruity dressed people. But last time we were here, Alex's mates were clear to see because they were head to foot tweed, right? Head to foot tweed, flat caps. They looked like they had sort of, business at 3, shooting at 4. And I said to Alex, where are your friends today? I've looked round, but apparently they don't venture this part to London today.
Way too edgy for me and my friends. Apparently, 30 extra tickets went on sale last night, and producer Si stuck them on the Facebook group, and we have got 2 intrepid travellers who, would you believe it, who have booked flights from Dublin to come and see us tonight. Is that true? Are there 2 people?
Yes!
You're kidding me!
Are they
Will
wearing
you give our friends from Dublin a cheer, please, ladies and gentlemen?
They've definitely got kit on.
Yeah.
Right, scramble up. Because you've come so far, you're allowed a photograph. We're meant to have T-shirts. Come and have a photograph. Quick, 1, 2, 3, go. Stand up. Let's do this nice and quickly. We're meant to have photographs for you.
Stand in front of here. Whoa.
Quick, clamber up, roll up.
Wait,
No, literally, don't use the stairs, they don't work. While we're doing a selfie with this is free, by the way. You're not charging for this one.
Am I not?
No.
Well,
no. Take a photo. Get in and do a photo.
Fuck off then if we're not paying for it.
Who's taking a photo? Oh, I'm in this one. Go on, come on. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Cheese!
It's
brilliant.
It's like Penfold and Harry Potter have come for a day trip.
Well done, fellas. That's your moment in the sunshine. Well done to our friends.
Cheers, lads.
What's very clever about that is we were meant to give them T-shirts.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we haven't got any T-shirts because they've sold out.
Excellent.
They haven't really. But if you would like...
Don't say that. It's not good for business.
If you'd like a T-shirt, do head to shop.joe.co.uk.
I wonder why they've not sold out.
You can get shop.joe.co.uk.
Right, we'll streamline
you're
that.
the ultimate professional. You can't even say it.
All right, steady. You can get 4 T-shirts for one of Haskell's videos. So you choose where you put your money and what the better value is.
Wow.
Either way, it's going in your pocket, Hask. No worries, yeah.
Right.
Excellent.
Let's bring some class and decorum to proceedings.
Vernon Kay back, is it?
Yes. Don't fucking encourage him, for Christ's sake.
He often gets away with not getting any.
Yeah, he does. He gets absolutely nothing, posh prick. Anyway.
What is sad with Hask having retired is that we don't have any sort of current rugby players anymore. You are over the hill like the rest of us.
I like that, is it?
He never really was.
Would you please welcome to the stage everybody's favourite tourist, ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 European Player of the Year, Mr. Alex Goode!
Champion.
You're in the middle there.
Lovely jacket. Lovely jacket you squared away there.
Lovely.
Moved 3 pianos today, you did.
He's come in a riding boot and a Peaky Blinders trench coat.
Oh, we got the same memo about the shoes, did we?
We did, yeah. Obviously, wanted to join you. I didn't get them free like yourself, but
no, I had to pay for these. That's why I did a couple of extra videos, so it wasn't a problem.
1 for each foot.
Yeah.
How are you? And thank you for coming to. I don't know why you've accepted the invitation, but thank you for coming to play with us this evening. How are you?
no, very well, very well. Excited to join you. Obviously, see what Haskell's got in store for me. I'm sure it'll be very friendly, no doubt.
You've been quite public in the past about the nickname for our friend.
What, the drone?
Yeah.
No, I didn't get. Oh, no. So I obviously Alex I've known for a long time. We've always got on well. I've always thought we're mates. It's one of those things where I say that, and they say,
what he was saying earlier,
really.
but
It sounds like I say, "Oh, no offence," before you insult me.
No offence, but we've always got on well. But I just went with some of the boys at Saracens said that his nickname was the drone because of his level of chat. But then apparently it got. But then because it apparently got so bad, he was known as the Apache, which is an even bigger drone with a helicopter. But I don't think it's true because you become a folk hero. You become a folk hero to everybody with your full stash, full kit wanker, piss up, absolutely completed it. You know, there was how many people around the country were like this? Unbelievable! What a boy, eh? I remember when I was playing rugby, we used to get to piss all the time. That's good. What a boy! What a boy!
Can you talk us through the reaction? Hey, first of all, how much fun? It was a celebration after the European Cup, perfectly entitled, just amongst friends this evening. Was it as good as it looked?
It was unbelievable. Although very painful on the Tuesday morning, I got to say. Yeah, it was pretty fragile at that stage. But no, obviously, it's not every day you win the European Cup, so you've got.
Well, it is in the Saracens, but apart from that,
it's funny that Haskell say another third-hand story from Saracens. You know, I feel like you were there. You know, the amount of stories that come out of Saracens, really. But no, it was a great, great few days, and it's. As I say, it's not often you get to do that, and we had a great time, and thoroughly enjoyed it.
it went viral. You went viral, if I can put it that way. Where did you get buy-in? Where did you get messaging? Who offered you to come and play with them?
Well, there was actually some T-shirts made of it afterwards, and I assume that was Haskell actually, taking the brand and sort of like selling.
I missed the boat on that.
Making money out of your story.
Yeah, it was quite funny on the Monday, the final day. I put up George Crew's address on Twitter. I thought it was quite funny at this stage, and encouraged by Mako Vunipola and feeling pretty safe behind him, to be honest, and put it up, and George's neighbours sort of messaged him saying, if you need people to, you need somewhere for someone to park, then they can park outside us. And George was like, no, there's no party. It was only really at one point where two lads turned up with a crate of beer. Unfortunately, we just left the house about half an hour before it, but they turned up ready for the party, and were disappointed they couldn't join in, to be honest.
So you put it out to us, and two people took up the invitation to George Crew's house.
Yeah.
But
should be charging more.
But how niche is that? The very fact you turn up, a lot of people would have gone, rightly so. I'm absolutely not turning up to that. That would be psychotic. That would be very noisy. But two people decided they were going to pack a crate of beer and turn up to someone else's house they'd never met for a rugby party. I'd be like, you'd be like that. Release the hounds. I'd be like that. Yeah.
Guarantee it was those two guys from the last live show with the shirt.
The two lions, full kit wankers at the back.
I'd like to say it wasn't actually an invite. It was just put his address out there. They decided at 4:30 on a Monday afternoon to turn up at the house.
It's like when I moved into where I live, and people asked me to come round, and would I come round to an 18-year-old's birthday party? When I told them the price, they wouldn't accept it.
What do you mean where you live? I thought that was on Airbnb.
Well, I have, I was about to say.
I thought it was another sellout moment.
It's true, it is, but the address isn't online, so you fuckers aren't going to turn up anyway. Because if you do, I'll send my wife with you, and she is completely insane. But it was, it's not a great idea, that, putting an address online, because in the modern world we live in, people will turn up.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know how 2003 World Cup final shirt framed and on the wall? First Test jersey, Lions jersey framed and on the wall. Have you framed your Saracens European Cup final plus bum bag into a lovely sort of full kind of frame and hung it on the wall?
Unwashed as well.
Yeah.
To be authentic.
Unwashed. No, I haven't framed it. Yeah, no, it's not going up on my wall. I don't think.
No.
No, I don't think it would be ideal. I think there's higher points in my career.
How good would it be if you just
Alex, that's the funniest thing you've ever done.
Yeah, I mean.
What are you talking about? That you were literally going to die like that for the rest of your life.
Mate,
that needs to be framed. You need to be wheeling that out. You need merchandise. You need equipment.
Yeah.
I can help you. That's defines you, mate. You become an absolute folk hero. Like, the reason you're on this show, listen, you're a world-class player, but we don't have world-class players on here because we don't give a shit about rugby. You're on here. You're on here because you're an absolute folk hero now.
Well, it's funny because you said I was a drone originally, so I was thinking, why am I here? But obviously ratings are taking a hit, so drag me out here.
You've done 13 years at Sarries. So what is it like being a one-club man? I mean, there aren't many of them around these days. Are you devoted?
Is that a dig? Yeah, I mean, it's a brilliant club. Very lucky. We were pretty poor when I started, and
so when you began, who were the big dogs in the team when you began?
There's some big players there. We had Chris Jack, obviously All Black International, Glenn Jackson, Census Johnson, Kobe Stashi. I'm trying to think who else. We weren't a very successful club effectively, and it wasn't because of the players. We just weren't. There wasn't any togetherness. Everyone was on different pages. It was hiring and firing every year, different coaches, and it took for Brendan Venter to come in and Edward Griffiths to sort of change everything, get rid of 16 players in one day, and off we went from there, really.
Bloody hell.
Start doing great team trips to the Alps.
It certainly helped.
Watching boxing in Munich.
You've obviously been in the sort of change room. You get to a game and you're playing Wasps, and we've been skiing in Verbier, and they're obviously shouting about how much they hate us and how they're going to be knackered and struggling a bit. And obviously the captain just turns to everyone and just says, lads, if we don't front up today, we're never going on a trip again. And everyone just flies out of the blocks at that point. Yeah, it's not. It's amazing.
What is the worst thing? They bring pictures with them and hang them on your changing room wall. So you're at Kingshow and you walk past, and they do it on purpose, leading up to it, so you can just see where they've been, and they're all like, "Fuck you! How's the shed?"
Heads drop. Can I just?
The shed is great, by the way. Before.
Yeah. I just want to ask you about that day when you mentioned about 16 players. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was pretty strange. I was about 2 years into playing professional rugby, and we were sort of all told to have meetings with Brendan Venter and Edward Griffiths, and we all had a 5-minute segment, and I think the first 14 guys all were cold, and they were like told, you're not coming back again. Like, even if they had another year in their contract, we'll pay you out, you're gone. And you're coming in and you're thinking, well, this doesn't look good for me. The odds aren't stacked on my side, and you don't know what's going to happen. And you go in there, and it was a conversation just said, look, you're staying. We like you, and you're young. We want to give you a chance, and you're cheap. So it was not easy, not hard. And then it just continued over the day. And then the coach just said, who was there at the time, was just like, right, lads, just take the rest of the day and the next 3 days and go to the pub and just here's a club card, do what you want. Because what do you say? People have just lost their jobs, their livelihood. In a sense, it was the right decision, but it's obviously pretty brutal and ruthless at the time. And very odd as a young guy coming into rugby. It's madness, really. But through that, Brendan and everybody had brilliant ideas. They brought the whole club together, brought everyone on page. And I think, more than anything that stood out has been our togetherness. And we say, people laugh about it, but these trips and the sort of team bonding make a massive difference.
Yeah. I've said before on the pod that I think Sarries players are the nicest bunch of guys, and I just wonder how much.
And we told you that was bollocks at the time.
Yeah.
Don't know why you're repeating it for another evening.
I'm standing by.
They're just the biggest. You got the Vunapolas, Mara Toji, and George Crew. It helps.
But I wonder how much Sarries do for you off the field as well. I mean, it, as a club, it appears they look after you as a person and then a player.
Yeah, I think I've been there my whole life. There's not many people who actually leave the club. Apart from people like Chris Ashton, who are more money hungry than yourself.
Impossible.
I wouldn't bet on it.
Impossible.
I wouldn't bet on it. That sounds like a challenge to me.
That would be a good game, man. Yeah. Supermarket sweep between the two of you.
Yeah, we'll have a go at it,
they're brilliant in terms of looking after players. So you don't see many people leave, and I think that sort of speaks volumes. You keep a lot of people, and if you're competing for silverware every year, then why would you want to go anywhere else? And and away from that, your family, friends, they love it. They come to games, they enjoy it, they're treated well, you're treated well. And I guess in my situation, when you're not sort of there or thereabouts with England, then it's even more important to try and win so they can be part of somewhere where you feel very appreciated, I guess.
Yeah. I just want to pick up on the Chris Ashton thing. Do you remember we did the England Barbars game in the summer?
Yeah.
This is no word of a lie. Whenever you're doing a live broadcast, you have lots of backpacks and things which get through the batteries very, very quickly. And the sound man came over halfway through the outside broadcast and he said, I need to change all your batteries. So he goes down the line, he changes 4 packs. There are 8 batteries come out, half used. And Ashton said, I'll have those actually, if you don't mind. Stuck them in his backpack and took them home.
Honestly, the guy was on nearly £500,000, I reckon, in Toulon. And
what was he on at the...
he's an absolute Wiganer.
Interesting. So you're back on the start line for another season. Are the batteries full and ready to go? Are you kind of like, woohoo, I feel as enthused and as excited as always? Or are you... Actually, I've done it 13 times. I can cut a few corners and I'll be ready when I'm needed.
Well, obviously, I'd rather be in Japan. It'll be a bit more fun. But no, I think
we would all prefer you to be.
We're going on Monday, actually, if you want to come on a tour. You'd be a very welcome addition.
Yeah, I'm sure Sarries will be chuffed at the start of the season that I go missing for 4 weeks.
Recruitment, yeah.
No, I think it's been a long break. It's 4 months or so, and you think you'd be raring to go. Can't wait. But reality is, as I said to Tins, and I think you can relate to this, both of you, is that all the young kids are, he must be so excited, first game and everything, and I'm going, it signifies the start of a very long year, really. It's going to get pretty tough. But no, I think once you're into the games and you start getting into it, it's more fun. It's just the training, it's been long. It's been about 15 weeks of pre-season, so... Yeah.
Ready to go.
Yeah, although actually I've only on training field for about 2 of those weeks, so played the experience card nice and early. Yeah,
calf twinge,
Yeah, back and foot. You can't really measure it. It's difficult.
It's interesting you mentioned the Japan thing. You get answers the whole time, but I'm going to ask it again anyway. Are you at peace with it all? I mean, I remember Eddie Jones saying ages ago, he's an amazing player. He just doesn't fit what I want. Can you just park it, or is there a fire inside you which you're finding hard to put out?
I think for a few years, last couple of years, it's been easier in a sense because you get a gauge if a coach likes you or doesn't like you or wants to pick you. And I knew probably from that Australia tour that he didn't want to pick me.
Yeah.
And I think you sort of just go, right, you know what, that's his decision, and you sort of prepare yourself for it. So when the selection comes, you're like, I know I'm not picked, so it's okay, and you just get on with it and just give everything to your club. And luckily to be at Saracens, you're always fighting for silverware, and that sort of is the enjoyment you get from it. I think at this World Cup, leading into it, thought I was playing really well, and I thought I allowed myself just a little bit of, maybe I've got a chance, and then back myself that if I'm in the training squad, I could showcase my skill set. But it wasn't to be, and he's gone elsewhere, and they're doing very well. So fair play to them.
Do you or did you ever have a moment with Eddie? Did he ever say to you, "You're not doing this, this, and this," and you said, "Actually, I disagree. Look at what I can do"? Did you ever have a discussion with him that went up, or did you just?
No, I think during the sort of conversations we had when I was in camp and stuff, it was all very amicable, and working my game in here, and not a problem. I think then when I was sort of more in the wilderness, not being picked, it wasn't really much to say. He's got his opinion. I'm either playing well enough for him or I'm not, and he can tell me. We've been through this conversation about what he wants, etc. But ultimately, it's one man's opinion, and you can't change that. And he's a stubborn man, but he's a very good coach, and he's doing well. So,
don't you think also in those situations that your form and the awards and accolades and stuff you did is vindication enough that puts that to rest? I've been in situations where you've been picked and haven't been picked, and then you're at the mercy of one man's opinion. But sometimes very difficult to quantify that. But actually, if you're people around you and people there and you're doing it, you're a world-class player, you're good enough to have started in any other international side, you can make peace with that. It doesn't make it any better, but it's an indication. I think that's a really important thing, because a lot of times in professional sport, in any walk of life, it's down to people's perspective and opinions. And I think with what you've done, there's not anybody that wouldn't have put you in that squad, but you didn't fit into his plans for whatever reason that might be. But it must have been quite nice that you've done that and been able to go, do you know what, I proved it. I got World European Player of the Year. It's like,
I love that. It's a very rare one, that World European Player of the Year.
We're all
like
that
never won it.
Brexit. That's what. Yeah. World. I was Universal Player of the Year, actually. European Daventry Player of the Year.
I think you've got to be at peace with it, and I think you can be very bitter and angry about decisions, but it gets you nowhere. So you're better off just going, right, that's that. If I get in there, then fantastic. I'll give it everything. I'd love to be there, but it's not to be. This, try not to be without being too philosophical. It's not going to define me. I just play well for Saracens, do everything I can, and get the most out of that.
There's a bit of trolling going on from Elliot, given that he's now coming to Saracens as well. Do you have quite a good relationship with him, or do you take that 13 shirt, or you stick on the wing, but frankly, you can't have both?
I said a few months ago, I think Mark McCall's clearly trying to say something. He signed Liam Williams, Lions fullback, he cut 2 years ago, and now he's just signed Elliot Daly, the England fullback. So
maybe you went in the wrong room when he cut the 16.
Wrong bit of paperwork.
Yeah.
Do you have a good? Do you know Elliot and have a good relationship with him?
Yeah, I've been in England camps with him. He's good friends with some of the Sarries guys. I get on well with him. He's a good bloke. I've not been in a change room for that long. You'd know more than me, but he's always been a very nice bloke. He's a brilliant player, and I think he's a great addition to Saracens.
He doesn't want to play fullback.
Obviously, I pray that him and Mark. I've still got the dirt on Mark McCall, so he keeps putting me at fullback, and Liam and Elliot just have their other positions.
Well, surely you're just seeing rest weeks. That's not all you're seeing right now.
I think any other year I would, but I think in a World Cup year where the players probably won't come back for the first 4 weeks, and they're only allowed to play about 5 games in the Premiership this year, I see a lot of games for me. Yeah.
If they win it, some people will never come back.
Yeah.
True.
100%.
Do you think?
I'd rate that. I'd rate that as well.
I mean, I don't get.
Go on. Like who?
There's no one older.
No, I think. Well, you're right. There's no one older, but I just think if I won a World Cup,
but like who goes out in a blaze of glory from that squad?
Well, who's the? Well, Coley maybe.
Back for a cup of tea.
For all that merchandise you'll be selling.
I know.
I mean, look, I don't know.
Coley t-shirts.
I mean, it's just. I just always thought that. I think in 2003, when we won the World Cup, everyone was talking about the '66 World Cup. The football blokes were going on about that. And it was kind of one of those sad things where it was the greatest thing we'd ever done, but we were still going on about it. And then in 2003, Tins Mob won it. And it was I remember watching it. It was such a moment that it was like that open top bus tour around London. It just. They're still dining on it now, right? That's how we got this gig, honestly, because his chat on the normal podcast is absolutely village. He comes alive.
There's only one man who milked that, and that was Delalio. Delalio literally walked back into his testimonial here, and normally when you get a testimonial, you'll be like, "Oh, Hask, can I borrow a shirt or something?" He went out and bought 15 minis, like big minis. Got the guy. Lads, you just need to come outside and sign a few things. Like, okay, 15 minis we had to sign the roof for, bought them for 15 grand, sold them for 60. It's like, cheers, fucking, you need the money.
If only, Hoff. That's what I mean. You and your 40 quid videos.
Next week on the website, Haskell minis. Got his face on the roof, sign the face.
LD did a dinner at Battersea Reach, right, for 800 people, right, and he sold out, because they won the World Cup, they sold out the next night. Day. They did a double one, so they sold it all, and they were like, so many tickets, we're going to put it on again. Like, they were selling signed surfboards, but he made a fortune out of it.
Hask obviously modelled himself on Delags. Literally, after the final, Delags went to the nearest surf shop, bought 30 surfboards, and got the lads to sign all of them. I'm like, what are you doing? Why do you want to ship that back? And he's like, don't worry, sunshine, you'll see. And then I was like, what have I done?
Yeah.
It's all right. I shipped the wife home.
He wouldn't have said. He wouldn't have said, "Don't worry, sunshine." Everyone, don't worry about that. Tins would have ruffled the back of your hair, like trap squeezed you. No, I would. I mean, look, I'm in a bit of a don't worry about that, son. Oh, don't worry, Tins, like you're a good kid, mate. Carry that surfboard, will you?
Sporting Rodney Trotter, by the sound of it. Yeah,
honestly. But I don't know. I just would have thought it's such a pinnacle. I promise you, if they win this World Cup, it's such a game changer, especially in a world like of social media. In 2003 it was there, but it will be everywhere if they were to do that. And I just think potentially, how do you top that? I know rugby's great. But getting you're slightly, I can sense, and I know you want to put words in your mouth because this podcast gets around. But you're apprehensive about a new season. It's like it's a big slog to go. Do you know what? I've got to front up for 30 odd games a season. I've got to get head filled in. When you've got a ready-made base. I mean, I told you I had action figures. I had I had books. I had a whole promotional tour ready. I was going to do an open bus tour of London on my own if we won the World Cup. I've lost thousands of merchandise. I've got to do videos. I've got to do everything. Because I'm not there. But if I had been there, you would have never seen anything like it. Pull a cord, listen to Hash chat shit in 7 different languages.
The Rocky doll.
The Rocky doll.
How do you hit it?
Yeah.
But that did happen. That happened for Tomo and Ben Cohen. They both sort of quit the game, but then realised they couldn't do anything else, so they came back to it. But it happened, they didn't understand because they were the same age as me.
Did you ever? What were you, 24 in 2003?
So I turned 25 during the World Cup. And same as Ben and Tomo, and then they didn't know how to deal with it.
Were you very comfortable with it, or was there a moment where you thought, "What the hell else do I do from here?"
Well, my sort of mentality has always been, "What's the next thing?" So as soon as we won it, it was like, right, how do we stay at number one? Whereas they were like, well, we've been in this game such a short time, and we've hit this sort of peak. What's the point in carrying on, sort of thing? And then they stopped for a bit, but then they realised that there was a bit of reasons to come on, mainly involved probably cash, and they came back to the game.
That's a big difference between us, because you thought, what's next? I was thinking, how can I fill a Securicore van full of cash? what do I need to do for that? I just think
rob it.
Yeah, well, no, don't rob it. Because the thing is, when the World Cup's been going on, you've seen it, because all the guys can't do all the appearances. You've got Danny Keir appear on Good Morning Britain. You've got Chris Robshaw on Talk Sport. You've got me doing anything else.
Hoovering every opportunity that you could possibly imagine.
What will no respectful man do? I'll do that. Yeah.
Can we set fire to you while you're naked? Yes, please.
What did we do this week together?
Oh, what was that?
The Institute of National Statistics.
Yeah.
What an hour that was.
That was.
Pay your money, take your chances.
It was. We turned up.
Puts a few of those up, don't you?
Yeah, no, we do statistics. Yeah, I mess them up. Yeah, all the time. Can't count.
You're obviously in training, though.
Yeah,
you're getting banged out for cash.
Well, the rig's on fire at the moment. Have you noticed?
As Leave EU have identified. Any other bits and bobs? Yes, I'll tell you what I did want to ask you is, are you watching it as a fan at the moment, or as a player, or?
Well, I'm watching sort of the major games, just because England, I do want to do well. A lot of my mates are there. The game today with Fiji and Wales, obviously Liam Williams playing for Wales, but just unbelievable game of rugby. How can you not appreciate Semi Radradra, if that's how you pronounce it?
Bang on.
Just absolutely open up the Welsh defence. that's awesome to watch. To be fair,
Yeah.
He's the
I'm
reason,
not-
he's
he's got
the reason
three-
Chris Ashton scored that many tries, isn't it?
Yeah,
Semi Redrada just running through, and Ashley just,
Yeah.
mate, pass the ball. Just offloading, then he just score every
Honestly,
time.
there's clips of him where he literally in the backfield just catch it, he just hand it off to him and run behind him as Semi Radradra would just make a break and he'd just get an offload and score. And he was like, he's the best player I've ever played with. He's incredible. But-
Can I ask
He's
one-
watching it with
Who,
some lovely.
Radradra or Ashton?
no, Radradra.
When did you play with him?
No, I was saying Chris Ashton.
Ashton did.
sorry.
That's what Ashton got the most.
Keep up,
the top
keep up,
tries.
top tries.
Wait, but for an absolute rugby keno, how
yeah.
do you
You
not
were
know
at
that?
North,
I
weren't
thought
you?
it might have been a Barbos.
No. He did get a hat trick that day as well because of Semi Radradra.
Can I ask a serious question?
No.
No.
Don't break the habit of a lifetime.
No, I just want to ask a little bit of boo. Come on. I'm actually very intelligent and very deep. I've got many levels like an onion. I was talking at UBS this morning about mental health. So fuck you, whoever moved. I'm available for speeches
Christ.
on various different topics. No, I was saying that one thing I wanted to know about cash money. That's amazing actually. When I posted a video about it, I said about me DJing. I got inundated by 50 people asking me to DJ at weddings and a couple of funerals, which is odd. But
They've heard you before.
Clear the dance floor.
Normally I kill a room, but the person was already dead, so it was a bit awkward. Maybe I
Raise
can
the
raise them from the grave. No, but when they all discovered that I wasn't going to DJ for a pint of beer and a bit of chat with the lads, none of those 50 ever took me up. So obviously I'm either too expensive or
Good subliminal advertising, those.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
those
yeah.
that now know
Well, it is
you're available
subliminal
for hire.
because he says it on every show.
Yeah,
that I
but
do.
yeah, exactly.
No, but one serious question I want to know.
Have we rinsed around that he goes back to his DJ stories and tells the same thing?
Yeah.
Oh, these lads do what we
I am
do it for
available
free.
to
I'm not
DJ.
available.
No, but
I actually heard you DJ the other day. It was at the Roundhouse. You were there.
It was
weren't you?
good, yeah, it was good.
It was good. Yeah, I mean, the
nobody
problem
there.
was there was actually not one person in the room. I mean, it was actually did.
No,
I've actually got
I've
a
seen
picture.
a
I've
few
got a
of
picture,
those.
actually.
It was seen a few of those.
It was brutal.
Yeah,
Alright,
the shot one, you didn't have your top off,
yeah.
and two, there was not one person in the room. So
Well,
I
'cause if
felt,
I had,
a little
you
bit
know,
sorry for you.
Just closes his eye, doesn't he?
10
And goes
seconds.
like this.
No. So
Had a glow stick.
Cash in the
well,
bank.
listen, if you're going to tell the truth, let's tell the truth. Let's not lie to make friends. I know you got a few cheap laughs the first time. I actually went to the Roundhouse to a DJ gig, and they'd had this room spread out with a fantastic venue, but everyone was having a drinks reception on the balcony, and it looked like I was DJing to a room of nobody, right? And because all my rugby friends are arseholes,
Just imagine,
they all
just
spend the whole
imagine how
time.
quickly you get the phone out.
Yeah,
and
they've
that.
got the phones out. Chris Robshaw using that Instagram app, zooming in to me like with a heartbreak thing as I'm like giving it on my own to an empty room. So it doesn't do a lot for my reputation, but there was actually 200 people on the balcony enthralled. They were. One serious question I wanted to ask, right, is because we talked a little bit about this before, is that Saracens, for me, all jokes aside, seem to have like discovered a blueprint for success, which appears to be on the surface something that every other club seems to have ignored. And that, I talked a lot about, I don't think rugby is as professional as it thinks it is, and we do a lot of stuff out of fear. It seems like Saracens just look at rugby and go, right, we're going to do what we need to do because we're going to do it. We're going to look after the guys, we're going to make sure that players are contracted for long periods of time, they feel secure. We're going to look after the simple things like making sure they've got a creche. We're going to not train the blokes into the ground. No, you say that with kids and family. It's like a nice thing. A lot of clubs don't do anything like that at all. Making sure that your family and friends are taken care of, making sure you feel secure. Is that the genuine impression? Is that why? Because it seems to me that, yes, I know you've got like Owen and the other boys raising the standards, yourself setting standard and wanting to be hungry to win, but it seems like they've just nailed this thing off the field where you don't train into the ground, that you don't break yourself. Is that because I only see it from the outside?
I think first and foremost we got great people there. British Lions, conditioner, people that oversee everything, and they understand that recovery is probably the most important thing. So it is very professional in terms of our training, how long we're out there, how specific we are in terms of detail. That's first and foremost. I think there's just core values that are ingrained to every single person, and then it's taken through. So it started off with, the class of Jamie George, Owen Farrell, George Crew, Will Fraser, it was Jackson Ray, the Bruno Polars now, Marrow, and it's ingrained as young kids to come through. And this is how we play. This is non-negotiables, and it's based around your work rate, honesty, humility, in that sense, discipline, and it seems like everyone has core values. Everyone talks about it, every company has them, but actually living them day in, day out, that's the hard bit, and that's where you need those top players, the spine of the team, to live them on the field every single day.
Yeah, but then you can have that. I mean, I would say that I haven't been to a club where it wasn't a professional and you try and live those, but it's about
Which
it's
club?
also about an environment and creating the environment where you actually want to turn up and you want to play, which I think is what Haskell is getting across, is that if you know that you're happy at home, the exterior of your life is in a good place and they're looked after, and there's nothing to worry about, you're not beasted, then on the field you're expected to then explode. And you talk about the fear factor, they provide that within a shell, what it looks like, of just looking forward to going to work every day. Like, there are days when I was at Gloucester and the Dean, when things weren't going wrong, Tuesday, you're just going to kick the crap out of each other, and you're like, got to go again after a loss on the weekend.
Were you kicking the crap out of each other as well because you needed to do it? Because I just want to understand about rugby. On a Tuesday a Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, I spent my career beating the crap out of each other because we had to do this because we weren't going to play well on a Saturday. But you're telling me that if I don't tackle someone and do mauling on a Tuesday, that I'm not going to be able to do it on a Saturday. If that's the case, that's nothing to do with my ability. That's the psychological thing that we've talked about before, being disregarded. I just seem to see, when I speak to Saracens guys, I don't know if it's the truth, is that they just seem to have bucked the trend. They seem to have confidence. So, when I was captain, exactly what you said, we would turn up and find out that Sarries had been, on the piss for 5 days. Right, as a team, you're like, hold on a minute, we've been slogging it out. The closest we got to an away trip was Coventry Leisure Centre. We used to train at Acton, right? And training was over when someone fell in fox shit and had to go home. Because your mum always reminds you, if you fall into dog poo, you go blind and shit. I tackled this academy kid. I was like, fucking hell, mate, you shit yourself. And I realised he'd fallen in fox poo. Wrap him up, get him off before he loses his eyesight. That was how we. And you lads are there like that. Having a tab on the side of Morzine Mountain, absolutely loving life. I'm scraping fox shit out my eyes, trying to remember. One of the lads has run down a pothole in the field. We haven't seen him again, right? So when we're coming to play you lot, Di Young's like, right guys, we're going to have a massive game, Saracens, they don't give a shit about you boys, they've fucking been on holiday on the piss, And I was like, actually, Di, can we go on the piss? Shut the fuck up, Hask. Don't know what you're talking about, you prick. All right, thanks, Di. I would say
and
the
Elliot
same
Daly
thing.
was like, I'm going.
Exactly. Oh, that sounds shit.
Good to me.
That's why I got there. Well, that's what I wanted to know. Is that how you feel? Do you feel looked after and secure?
Yeah, I think it comes from, first and foremost, there's never too big a high, too big a low. So we lost 5 games, not the season before, and everyone in the Premiership was jumping for joy, happy as Larry were losing. There wasn't panic in the ranks. The coaches don't panic and go, right, it is full contact now every single day. They went, you know what, we're on the right path, we're doing the right thing, we're coaching the right way, the players are good, we just got to stay calm and everything will sort itself out. So that's first and foremost. It's not that panic stations. I think your point about looking after us, I think, we spend a lot of time, and it's a bit airy-fairy and stuff, but a lot of time on checking everyone's all right, how you are at home, how your family is. The coaches, each coach has about 5 or 6 players, and they have a vested interest in you, not just you as a person, but your family, your kids. Everyone knows each other's kids' names. The coaches, the players, everyone goes to the creche. There's a lot of time spent together. We do a lot of team events, and therefore, the principle is that you care a little bit more about the person next to you, and you care about the environment. You talk about every club goes out and they have good tactics. Well coached, fine. Everyone has good players. What's going to make the difference? And honestly, if I'm close with you and I'm close to you, you go on the field, that I know that I don't want to let you down at any point, and one moment can let anyone down. Yeah. But it takes a while to gain respect, and I don't want to let you down. I don't want to let you down. I know what motivates you, your family, and that's the biggest thing, because one of the best things we have at Saracens is, England players come back from England and they're shot to bits mentally, physically. They're absolutely knackered. But every time they come back from a Six Nations or an Autumn International, I guarantee the Saracens players will play better than any other England players. It means more to them, I think. I don't know why, but they just put in a level that would never pick and choose. Every time you put on the jersey, you just go out there and play unbelievably well. I
was going to say, they're only getting 25 grand a game for England.
Allegedly.
No, that's true. They are only getting 25 grand.
I would play well if my vineyard was in risk in the south of France.
Right,
what's that? The chateau's going to be at risk. I'll fucking run in the tables. No, but on
literally, producer side. Can we just have a cheer for producer side in a minute? Let's give it away.
Fuck side. Gives a shit.
He's done 20 minutes, so please get to the break. Please get to the break.
I'd love to see a row of people wearing fuck side.
But funny, how funny is that, though? That nothing that Alex has said is like rocket science, but so many clubs don't do it. And the really interesting thing is that tomorrow's International Mental Health Day.
International European
Universal World Mental Health Day. And it's really interesting because, ask the players how they are. That's one of the biggest things. Being quite, macho people, we don't often open up about our feelings, especially, men are pretty terrible at it. And I think it's really interesting that actually asking, how are you? Are you happy? What's happened is so important. That doesn't happen because, the RPA set up their kind of help hotline thing, and they're getting inundated with calls with people struggling. So, how many people are in the Premiership? It's just very interesting that, a club for me understands that their commodity and their ability to be successful is not about the business, how many tickets they sell. It's about the players and actually interacting them because, I don't want to get morbid, but, especially young men and everything else there's more suicide rates than any other area of life. I think it's really important that A, people reach out and talk, but B, that clubs, forward thinking, because at Wasps, it was amazing when Kieran Mile came out and did his story in the papers about his mental health thing. I called him up and I was like, mate, I can't believe you were going through this thing, obviously I'm surprised you didn't open up to me. I'm such a... I said that to him.
Live on Instagram.
We're just live feeding. Why are you crying? No. I said to my wife, I was gutted that I couldn't, because all the bravado, all the jokes aside, I would hate to think my teammate, a friend, someone I knew was really struggling. And she laughed and said, well, obviously no one would ever open up to you because you're an absolute gobshite. I think that's amazing, and it's kind of the story of lots of clubs in the Premiership, and they're not doing what these guys are doing, and I think that's why they're successful. And it's bizarre because it's not like a secret recipe. It's like 5 or 6 really simple things done well that other clubs just don't do, and that's why it's still old school for me. So it's really interesting to have someone on board.
I just think, sorry, I know you got to go, but the care for when someone's going through a tough time, whether it be kids ill or something's happened or wife is really struggling, the way the team, the coaches rally around it, give them as much time, help them out as much as possible is fantastic. And that's something where when you get older, you appreciate that sort of, being looked after, the welfare. It means everything.
Yeah. I want to pick up on this. I can sense that everyone potentially needs a bit of a refill, needs to use the button. Yes, all right, okay.
Yes.
Someone's in confidence bag.
Mate, calm down. If the lad hasn't neck to cut the pot, he's got to go home.
I was going to say, you've got legs, mate. Go to the bar.
Can we get him a free one?
Why?
Are we allowed to do that?
Well, isn't there a thing that we can get them a free
Yes,
one?
there was about... Yes, you segue.
Fucking hell. Try and tee him up.
Very good,
lead a fucking horse to water, eh?
I'm glad you read the script. Can I just very quickly let everybody know that if you haven't and you're not already playing in the
Or if you want to delete
predictor,
it and re-download it.
if you download the app now, stop getting in the way. The Match Point Predictor app, if you download it now, you get a free pint of Arthur Guinness this evening. I can see everyone getting their phones out and downloading. Good luck with the bandwidth. Just do it throughout the course of the evening. You can grab it at the end of the night as well. If you're not playing in the House of Rugby League, do come and play. I'm currently sitting in third. Tins is about 15 laps behind in last place. So do come and play. Anyway, Haskell hasn't been allowed in because he's not earning money through it, so he's not that interested. It's a lot of fun.
Why waste your time? Time versus money. What's the point?
Still lots of pints to be won and pints to be gifted. So do come and play in the Match Point Predictor if you'd like to do that, and you can get a free pint of Guinness tonight. Please concentrate for the next 5 seconds. When we did this at the last live show, everyone just got up and fucked off while I was reading our mid-show trail. But you are watching and you are listening to the live version of House of Rugby, brought to you by Joe, together with our good friends at Guinness, at Flatiron Square in London! Good on you, beautiful people. We're in the company of one man who won the World Cup, Mr. Mike Tindall, and 2 men who did, Mr. James Haskell, Mr. Alex Goode. We are a podcast in the YouTube. Time for a refill. YouTube show. We're available every Wednesday morning, apart from this week when we're available on a Thursday, obviously. But here's the former NBA star, John Amici, with news about a brand new show on Joe, while we throw to John. Grab a pint, have a pee, see you back here in 15. See you in a moment.
My day job is helping businesses thrive through disruption. This show is not about business, it's about people who go from nothing, a seed of an idea, something that everybody thinks is completely impossible, and build it into this massive business. There are 1,000 different ways to be a huge success. One of the most interesting things that we're learning is that how people are failing is almost as important as how they succeed. In fact, it's integral. It's business. Pioneers is having really honest conversations with people, talking about their business, their objectives, their purpose, whether they're just out to make a ton of money and then quit, or whether they really want to change the world. Pioneers on Joe. Listen to it, download it, watch it. I had nothing profound to say.
You're watching the House of Rugby on Joe, together with Guinness.
That was John Amici and the new series of Pioneers, which is out on Thursday. Welcome back to our show here at Flatiron Square. All our beautiful friends are here, 400 or so people. My name is Alex Payne. We've got Alex Goode, James Haskell, and Mike Tindall. Let's have a cheer for them as well. That's very good indeed. Okay, still to come, we're going to have some fun again. Will you put your phone away?
No, I'm just. I've got a thing later. I'm just googling something I need for later.
Okay,
Relax.
you're allowed to do that.
Paid appearance.
High-end
Quick video.
Yeah.
Still to come, we're going to have some fun and games with the boys. We've got a perfect pour with a difference. Don't forget to join our House of Rugby Facebook group if you haven't already, and there are thousands of you in there. Is anyone in the room in our Facebook group? I love this. Love this. No, one or two. Do join us there. Apparently, although hasn't yet joined. As I mentioned, our exclusive House of Rugby stash is now available at shop.joe.co.uk. Has anyone actually purchased anything from our store yet? We've got literally one or two of you have wasted your money in the Joe shop. Amazing.
It's high-end gear.
We've got new T-shirt. We've got Who's the Heavy Breather coming out. Welcome to Mr. Mike Tindall. And all aboard...
Not since the new notes, surely.
And all aboard the Hask train. And actually what we need is bum bags in there as well.
Yeah.
With your sort of
Fun bags.
pretty little face on.
Fun bag.
Lovely. They're a must-have accessory, mate.
Before we get into the fun and games,
Yeah.
are you a little bit nervous about the fun and games?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Are you a little bit nervous about the fun and games?
No, fuck it.
I was saying that our show has gone really well and people are really enjoying it. And thank you for all the positive feedback we get from everyone. But what's interesting, I've talked a number of times about nauseous. And I'm just going to explain what a nause is again. It's someone who's quite nauseating. So someone who comes up, gives you your life story, bores you about how they nearly made it as a rugby player, but if it wasn't for injury, they would do that. And did I know their friend of a friend whose son's daughter used to go to my old school? No, the answer is no, I don't care, don't talk to me. But
some nauses do make it, on the
Some
other hand.
nauses do make it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But the whole idea is we talked about this, and everyone who comes here and everyone else is super polite. Everyone says, you know, it's a great honour when anyone asks you for a photograph or whatever, because it's a very transitory thing. I appreciate
particularly when they're paying.
Particularly,
well. Yeah, exactly. Great honour. It's a great honour. Ka-ching.
It's a very transitory period. You got to be, you know, it's a great honour. But people I've told before kind of take a little bit of liberties. I've got to tell you a story. I was at this O2 thing the other day, right? And I was minding my business. This 60-year-old bloke, quite tall, bit of a darb on him. That's a belly for those of you not from up north. And he came straight over and he goes, "Hass, mate, punch me in the shoulder." Ballsy, right? Ballsy move straight off, right? Punch me in the shoulder, right? And then he goes, "Give us an arm wrestle." And I went, no, I said, I'd rather not. There's like kids all around me, and I'm trying to sign these things. And I was with Josh Denzel, the guy from Love Island. We're doing something about rugby, trying to have a nice, friendly day.
I guarantee you weren't that polite, though.
No, I was.
Mate, fuck off.
No, I was. No, you have to, because people have got camera phones. What I really wanted to say was that, but I don't. You know, I've got a real tight smile. No, please don't do that. And I start twitching. No, I do, because you know. So anyway, so he's come up, he's going on arm wrestle. I said, "Listen, I don't want to, mate." I said, "Because look, it's all about technique. It's all about. I just don't want to do this. Like we're trying to sign kids." He goes, "All right, then, just come outside. I'll fight you." Right? And I said, this is. Bear in mind, this is not 10:30 on the morning after England versus Argentina. Right, we're having a nice day. Family friendly, right? I've tried to warn people, because actually people, when we did the last live show, were coming up to me and goes, "I don't want to be a nauseous, James, but can I have a photo?" And I was like, no, it's fine, lads. You're being really polite. Not everyone who asks for a photo or wants an interaction is a nauseous.
But also, if you're going to not be a nauseous, don't start with, "I don't want to be a nauseous." Oh, understand the fucking protocol.
This is so
You're a
true.
nauseous.
This is true. Just
I'm really sorry, I don't want to interrupt. Well, if you were really sorry, you wouldn't have.
My favourite one is, just one more. Oh, you're going to tell everyone else to fuck off, are you? Just one more. So anyway, so the guy said to me, "I'll fight you." And I said, "Listen, mate, you're getting on in the years." I said, "If I manage to catch you, you might die. So I'd rather not. I'd rather not." I tried to joke it off. And then again, talking about liberties, he grabs me by both my cheeks. Right? This is something that I've known Tins for years, I've known Alex for years. I would not just lean over and grab his cheeks, right? So let's get this straight. This bloke has punched me in the arm, right? He's offered me for an arm wrestle, he's offered me out, and he's double cheeked me like this. Pulled me by the cheeks. So I'm like, it's like, fuck it, you know. And I said to him, "Listen," I just went, please don't do that. Right? And he goes, why is that big man? Ruffles me on the fucking head. Right?
You've suddenly you were thrown back to Lawrence.
Yeah. Got a bit turned on actually with Lawrence. And he honestly didn't wear cheeks, ruffled my hair. I honestly sat there and I'd said to Josh beforehand, I said, listen, watch it with rugby fans, because if a big guy, and I could always talk about lads, people take liberties. Yeah. And he didn't believe me. He was like, laugh and go, whatever, you're a prima donna. He watched me get all that. Some bloke pushed me. Some bloke tried to tackle me. So please, fucking stop it. I'm not a lad. I'm perfectly normal. Oh, fucking hell, is it? That's the buzzer. Sorry.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Nah, so just
They're actually rolling in more Arthur Guinness.
Please don't manhandle me. Please don't offer me a fight. It's not clever. It's weird. And if you wouldn't do it to your mum or your mate, don't do it to me. Okay, please? Right. Lesson number 1.
Message achieved. Right. Thank you for that public service announcement.
I feel we didn't get a story out. That was pretty. Yeah.
We did. I got fucking manhandled, headbutted, ruffled, grabbed, all the bloke wanted to do.
And once again, he let everyone do it. I look forward to your first fight.
Amazing. Very true. Very true.
I think that's 4 runs, Tim. So that's just gone straight back past the bowler.
James the Cuddler Haskell. That'll be my name.
Please don't punch me in the face.
Walking out to relax. Yeah. Don't do it.
With a little moonwalk on the way to the stage.
You like that with a little t-shirt you can rip off.
But you say about that, talking about being punched in the face.
Yeah.
You say obviously people get a bit, maybe it's your face. I don't know. Your own teammates did that. I had Jeff Parling at the club today. Your own teammate England. Did a line-out session. Jeff Parling was England line-out caller. Haskell was in the bin juice with me at that stage, and
full business.
Yeah,
you were actually a chairman of bin juice.
Yeah,
actually.
I was. Yeah, part of the
only international European. Only international European.
International European bin juice.
Yeah, but it's a pretty good position.
Haskell was in this line-out sort of session, and at the end of it, Hask said something very polite, and Jeff just turns around. Bang! Punches Hask in the face. Hask just takes it very well.
To a slow round of applause.
Well, I run it. It was Martin Johnson was like this. No, honestly. So what? So it was a line-out session, right? It was a team.
I wasn't telling a story. Don't worry about it.
No, you say that. It's all right. It's all right. Listen.
It's another fight loss.
Yeah. You take it from here, big man.
No, because they've had an hour of your chat, and I think we've had, who's going to tell a better story? We will go into what I will say. It's House of Rugby, but it sort of says James Haskell's House of Rugby, Goode. Don't personal.
It quite clearly doesn't say that. It says James House of Rugby.
Fucking sort it out. It will do by the end of the week. No, he's right, but there was a little bit more to it because obviously you weren't there.
Yeah, well, I was there. The captain of bin juice, but carry on. Go.
No, I will do. I'll tell you, I won't let you down.
I'm really sorry. I can only apologise.
Oh, you twisted my arm. Well, if you're going to point a gun at my head, I will tell the story. No, but because we were doing the line-out session, right? We were full binners doing absolutely nothing. And we used to walk through, and all I did was when we were set up a fake mall, I went. Maul. Don't like that, do you? Don't like that mauling you. And
being a Norse.
Not
everything you've just said about being a rugby bore, and you're doing that in international training.
No. But I just went like, it was like there wasn't even 30% action, just lining up, and I went, oh, that's a maul. Don't teach you that in the CIA, do they? and Jeff Parling went, what did you say? I went, they don't teach you that in the CIA. He went. But I was so shocked, right? That it hit me. I didn't react. And guess what the best bit was? Graham Roundtree comes marching over and goes, what the fuck have you done? What have you done? And I'm like, what do you mean, what have I done? What have he? He goes, we've upset Jeff. I said, what?
The headband. You were like, what? I'm trying to get picked.
Honestly, what, you've upset Jeff? And Jeff was like, he went, boom. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, James. I'm so sorry. And it turns out he was having a bit of a bad day, so that's why he dished me up. But the best bit was on the video. I'm not looking forward to this first fight. You think you're right?
Yeah. Well, you just seem to let people hit you when you don't do anything back.
But on the video, I just went, you don't teach you that in the CIA, and he just went, and I just went. What happened? I didn't even move. And the best part was I got bollocks.
Maybe that's a good thing. You know that Homer Simpson episode where he just gets whacked like that? And eventually the guy will punch himself out and he'll just be...
Yeah, that could be it. Yeah. Sorry, I'd ruined your story.
No, it's all right. You
love how
told it so
went in
well.
and told the whole
Yeah.
story and then apologised.
Yeah.
You didn't just let him go on and tell it.
Yeah.
If you couple that story with the one you've just told, please don't hit me. Even if you do get hit, you're not going to do anything about it. It's quite an extraordinary position to be in at the moment. Get the Twitch sorted.
Powder mitts Jeff. As
Producer
well.
side,
Powder mitts Polly.
producer side's been saying, please talk World Cup. Please talk World Cup. We're contractually obliged to talk World Cup, but we could just go straight to mean tweets.
I don't
Do you want to do mean tweets or do you want to talk
Yeah.
about World Cup? Very quickly, is Billy all right with his moon foot?
Well, I think so. I mean, I think they're going to roll him out for the quarterfinal regardless, to be honest with you. This week, I don't know. There's not much coming out of the camp, but I think Billy will... He's pretty invaluable. If there's one person in the England team who you couldn't play a final or semi-final without, I think it's Billy Vunipola. I think any team in the world would take him at number 8, and we need him out there, and I think he'll be fit for the quarterfinal.
Are they all right? Did you message a few of the Saracens boys? Is Owen all right? Is he happy?
Probably don't message Owen too much. He's probably turned his phone off and lobbed it in the bin, to be honest.
Right.
But a few of them, they're quite chatty. Mako has been pretty chirpy, considering he's been the ultimate food bill for this World Cup.
exactly. He's like that.
He's literally like,
Just let me know when the final rolls around.
yeah, like take me to a World Cup, and I'm only going to play 2 games.
He loves it.
You
People
know
are
you're
comparing
good,
him to Richard Hill. He's like, yeah, semi-final, semi-final.
You've got to be fucking good at rugby to get away with that, to be honest.
What a food bill, though, feeding that as well. Tis no man, tis an eating machine. Just they're throwing sushi in his face.
Looks well.
Yeah,
He looks well.
He does love a watt bike, that bloke. But no, it's I think
Maroon, snooze.
Crusoe's a bit of chat here and there. Now that he's getting picked and he's back in the, the word is he's back sleeping with Balthers in his bed again. He's all right. Well done. He's got him a lot of caps, so credit to him. But no, they're pretty good. I think they're really enjoying it, to be honest. Obviously, winning is great, and it's a good camp. They're happy. They're getting a lot of free time. And a few of the culture vultures are getting out and enjoying a bit of octopus, while Billy just looks for wherever he can get Nando's. So
Nando's snooze, Nando's snooze.
Yeah. What a day.
What a day. Do you want to quickly talk Ruggers? Ireland, bounce back. Wales, get past Fiji. What's interesting you?
Yeah, no, it's just I actually put a bet on that Fiji would win today, and I was really happy for 60 minutes. And if they could learn to pass backwards rather than forwards, we could have had an upset there. And I just think that they are so close to having such a good team. But fair play to Wales actually coming back and
Brilliant
winning.
tweet from Dan Leo, friend of the show, who said quite clearly Fiji have now outgrown the Pacific Nations Cup. It's time to find their way into the Rugby Championship.
I think he's not far off. If they could stop, just when someone turns their back to them 2 yards away from them, and they just look and they get Haskell's twitch and have to hit them in the back with no arms. If they could get rid of that, then yes, you could say that they deserve to play a higher level. Is accurate. I think they do. Everyone would want to see what they can do on a rugby field in an autumn international every year, and I think that needs to be looked at.
I think as well, you look at 2007 when they got to the quarterfinals, they beat Wales in the group stages, I think it was. They nearly took South Africa out of the World Cup, the team that won it. What they had there was a core group, and particularly around sort of 9 and 10, Moses Looney, Nicky Little, who were pretty steady, and they had all these flying Fijians, wonderful athletes around that. I think when they get a really experienced 9 and 10, it just changes the ball game for them, and it just allows them then just to give the ball to Semi, Radradra, and everyone else, and to his own.
It's not a tough game, is it?
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's pretty easy, but when they have that, they're so good. The difficulty they have during the season is obviously clubs releasing them, them getting there. When it comes to World Cup, they're amazing, and they should be in some tournament. It's getting all those Fijian players who play in Europe to play for them in the autumn internationals, in a Nations Cup or whatever it would be for them.
Threat of games being cancelled this weekend, which it's been such a good tournament so far. It's broken boundaries. It's been an amazing spectacle. How big a setback would that be if that comes to pass?
Well, I don't think they can do that. They would just have to. They can't have pool deciding games cancelled. You can't have, as brilliant as it would be for Ireland to get sent home on a 2-point cancelled game. It'd be amazing. It'd be amazing.
Sorry to our two people who've flown over from Dublin.
Ironically, that would have been the best game they played this tournament. But
You know out of Alan Partridge, where he walks in Alan Partridge, they give him a hat, the builders give him a hat with boss on it, right? And his wife comes in, or his girlfriend tells that crap joke about the coffee shop, and the builder's like, I don't get it. And he's like, help me out, lads, help me out with the boss. The boss of the whole of fucking Joe is sitting over there going, Tins, it says boss, shut the fuck up.
No, it just can't happen. And the thing is, they're doing a 4 a.m. Press conference tomorrow, but a lot can change in the weather apparently between now and Saturday. They just have to rearrange and make sure they play those games. You can't have it just be cancelled and be a draw and each team have 2 points. You can't do that with how vital those games are. You just got to let it get through, and even if you have to push it back, and as long as everyone's on if they cancel, because you're talking about 3 of the games on Saturday. So even if you can fix it that they can maybe push a day back later, they have to make sure they play those games and let everyone dictate their own destiny.
Okay.
That's the only fair thing to do.
Who at the moment we'd sort of ask it like a staging post, who at the moment has caught your eye for the latter stages?
What, just team?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so easy to say New Zealand and South Africa because they're in a sort of gimme group, aren't they? So I think
really going out there on a limb there, mate.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Punter.
Yeah. But they're the ones that have scored the most tries, but then they've been playing the worst teams. Japan is probably the eye-catching team, but that's obvious as well. But they've played the best rugby to watch. Haven't scored the most tries, but I think they embody what you want as a World Cup spirit in the way that they play.
You don't think England have looked as impressive as South Africa and New Zealand?
Yes, I do, but very controlling. I'd like to see a little bit more.
At this stage? Do you need to show more at this stage?
Well, no, I don't need to see more. I'd like to see a higher... Well, what I've come to expect against Ireland, the warm-up games, and Wales, the energy. I just haven't seen the same energy. Now, whether that's because they're holding it back or whether that's because they have played that controlling game, I'm just being like a fan and wanting to see what I've seen in the past. Now, does that mean they can turn it on against France if France decide to actually turn up? They've been told to go on strike, apparently.
Gets them to a World Cup final most times.
Yeah, well, yeah. Exactly. That actually did make me nervous because last time they did that, they ended up in the final and should have won it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I do think England have been good, but in a controlled manner. And then I think Japan have been the best team so far.
I think England have been very impressive in the fact that they're sticking to a format that will get them a World Cup. You know, we can't go out there and play New Zealand in the semi-final and go toe-to-toe them and throw the ball around like that. You know, because we're not as good as them at parts of that. But what we do have is, as Eddie's key word, is the most brutal team there. Physically, we can beat anyone, and our pack is the best pack, most physical pack in that regard. And we've got 2 wingers who are probably the best in the air in terms of the aerial game. And so you only have to look at how Ireland beat New Zealand twice in a row, where they went for them in the aerial game, they went from the line out, and they physically went after them. I know it's a bit boring, but what are the strengths of English
obviously you don't listen to the show. If people play boring rugby, I've got to abuse them. So
okay. Well,
pardon.
I was going to say, I think England, what we're good at is set piece rugby, kicking game, and being the most physical team. That's how we win a World Cup. You won a World Cup. Johnny hit drop goals. You did play some rugby. I'm not saying you didn't, but you had the best.
Just
pack.
Johnny hogging the spotlight was really annoying. Actually, I would fucking love to have scored some tries.
But you had the best pack though, and that's what that is the best way we're going to win the World Cup, and that's what I think we've got to go to. And I think England looked good with that.
Can we just thank James Haskell for his valuable rugby insight?
You're still with us.
It's the only time he's quiet. It's amazing.
Thanks for asking us a question.
Honestly,
because that always stops you.
Actually,
James, tell us about the
I've
Rugby
actually
World Cup.
watched fucking World Cup games. Thank you very much.
Tell us your insight.
Well, I tell you what, it's very interesting. I had to watch France.
Had to.
Yeah, I was in the Maldives. It's very difficult. When you're being force-fed champagne and canapes, and obviously having to commentate for the guests, you got to watch it. I watched bloody France versus USA from start to finish.
What happened?
France won.
Insightful.
I watched so many games that you would just never even watch. I didn't even know the World Cup was on until I got there. So actually, I could have been, insightful. I thought bloody Japan were lovely, and I spoke to Jamie Joseph because we're friends. So fuck off.
How do you pronounce that Japanese winger's name? The one who scored all the tries?
Oh, there's so many things. You'd be off com before you knew what was happening. So, one false move and you're Jim Davidson with that chat. Nice try, Alex, you prick. I'm not going to fall for that one.
Go on, Jamie Jones. Is he a happy man?
Yeah. He obviously, because he's a master tactician. Like he he was one of the best coaches I ever worked with, purely because, you know, when he was at the Highlanders, he kind of had he built his game around kind of a brutal breakdown, a brutal physicality in defence, which was very different than other Super 15 sides did. You know, when the year we did there, we got to, almost got to the playoffs, and it kind of fell apart. Next year, he signed Nonu, Woodcock, and a few other guys. Tried to go for a bit more of an approach different than what he believed in, and they did terribly because those players didn't want to conform to his more physical mentality. Over the Super 15, you don't do a lot of contact in training. It's a lot more kind of running based, a lot more, over in this country, we do a lot more drill based stuff. Over there, he would give you a scenario, right, we want to play a lot more off 12, we want to do this, throw a ball, we will play, very much like the Crusaders. And interestingly, the following year, he went back to what he was, which was real hard-working, honest, genuine, no superstar blokes, and won the whole thing.
Yeah.
So when I think he went into Japan, I know he was taking all the Japanese team to New Zealand. Pardon?
I was just saying, it's the first punch you've thrown.
There it is, yeah. Absolute heavy hands. I'll fix that.
We're going to have to settle this at some point, by the way. There's a sort of
in Japan, with sumo wrestling.
And the Kitten Club, that's where we're going.
We're booked in.
We are booked in.
And do come if you're out there.
But basically, what he's done with Japan is he took that team away and put them into they went to New Zealand, fight and fitness in New Zealand, load of work with jiu-jitsu, breakdown, all that kind of stuff, body positions, physicality. So for me, he said it in a post-match interview. Ireland have thought about Japan for that one game.
Yeah.
You know, Japan have been planning that the entire time. They targeted it as a scout they could take, and he's a master tactician. I messaged him and said, look, do you want to meet up for a beer? And bizarrely, even he said, I'll be ready with my gloves on. Why does everyone want to fight me? I don't understand. No, I understand.
It's
I
the
can't
face,
think, James. I cannot think.
No, I
There are
understand.
some people who just have a face you want to hit.
I'm fully aware I'm a complete arsehole and everyone wants to beat me up, but it is just a bit disconcerting that everyone I meet now wants to fight me.
Can we just have a round of applause for James's first rugby input in 2.5 series of House of Rugby? He's lost his virginity in the rugby stakes. Right, who is ready for some fun and games? This is where the show unravels rapidly. Are you giving me something to give to them, or am I giving them this?
I've got them.
You've got them? Okay, right. Ladies and gents, we get an awful lot of correspondence to the
We're not allowed
House of
to
Rugby.
open them yet, though, are we?
No, don't open them yet. We get a lot of correspondence to the show. Some very nice, some not so nice. The vast majority overwhelmingly positive. Not everyone, it would seem, is happy with what it is that we are doing. So with a nod to Jimmy Kimmel, i.e. we've ripped this straight off his show, we're going to play the House of Rugby version of Mean Tweets. They're quite interested in this. Not yet totally bought in, but let's see where we go with it. James and Mike have got 10 messages that have been sent in about them from our dear listeners. We love you all. Since the show started. And let's find out how many of them are on point. We're going to judge who is the most on point by the audience's reaction. What does that mean? They're going to cheer for the ones they like the most.
I feel this is Ireland's chance to get back at me.
Yes, yours are from Every O'Dowd, whatever it is. So who would like to go first?
I'll go first. I know that James probably needs to open it and actually try to read first, so I'll go first.
Alex can sit back and relax, and you can have the deciding vote if we have a sort of, I don't know, a sort of
Damien
tie.
Woods, are you here tonight, Damien? No?
Shit, imagine that if they've come.
Oh,
right,
that'd be
Tins, you're
brilliant.
going first. You're going to read them out. We can give it a cheer based on the volume of truth, amusement, interest, and relevance. Tins, away you go.
This is from Damien Woods. It's just a pity that Tindall has no idea what he's talking about. Listen to his ramble about Ireland. Talk about pulling something from his arse.
Only mild amusement. Fuck
Bang average that. I mean, if you're going to come back at me, come on, something stronger than that, Damien.
James, you go next.
Well,
please.
I was told that I've got to look like I'm happy about this shit. Okay? Apparently that's what they do. This is Doug H. Haskell just said, lad, 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 without a hint of irony. I'll just press stop right there. Bell end. Hey, rugby. Hey,
Doug
lads.
H, you've won yourself a T-shirt.
Yeah.
This is now a head-to-head. Right, Tins.
Lib comment. Tindall was ripped to shreds year after year by O'Driscoll, etc. It's clearly left him with a bit of a bias.
Go on, Harry Potter. Go on, son.
He deserves
Lib
a shot.
comment is here.
Oi.
Lib comment is here.
Oi, let's get another pot of
Someone-
butter beer for Harry Potter and his mates.
Can someone get his wand?
Oh,
Can someone get his
you prick.
wand?
See you later.
Expelliarmus.
Oi, there's a Thunderbolt 2000 with your name on it. Oi, good knowledge, Harry Potter. Nev. I can't understand a word these gobshites are mumbling, especially that prick Haskell.
Lovely.
Touche.
Like
Nev gets the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yay!
Easy.
What? This is the second time you've piped up. Make it good or be quiet.
Yeah.
Honestly. Hey!
Sorry. Do him, son. Do him.
You've won a T-shirt.
Call him
You've won
out.
a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Well done. We've got live trolls in the building.
love it.
Yeah.
What a treat.
Oi.
Tins.
Where's
number
your
3.
carer, Chief? They left him alone.
Two T-shirts.
Yeah.
Off the record.
Good friend of mine, Danny Flynn.
Love Danny.
Yeah. The way Tindall speaks about the Irish style of backplay, you would think he was Christian Cullen you were listening to. He was the most basic, limited and agricultural player on that English team.
I like that.
You guys have been busy in the corner. You've been busy. Well done. Hoff.
JSC. Ben Ryan's such a good listen. Even Haskell knows better than to chip in with his average chat that makes everyone's cry. Wanker that he is. Fucking, I'm gonna...
JSC and Danny get a T-shirt. Dial in for the details. Tins.
Norrie Hunter, funnily enough, this will rhyme quite nicely. I don't need this royal scrounger telling us how to spend our money on golf.
Ding dong! Again.
Give him a T-shirt already.
In one hit.
Oh,
Go on.
that is true, I agree with it. It is a bit out of order how you do that.
Unfortunately for Norrie, his fucking pennies don't go very far. So,
Whoa!
hello.
Well, get you a private jet, though, wouldn't it? You and the rest of your mates.
So only the offset. Only the offset.
Mr. John Dory, 117. James Haskell once called me a virgin during a lively encounter on a YouTube comment thread after I publicly criticised his reckless motorway driving. Does sound like something I would say. I would like to make it clear that I am not a virgin. I have slept with at least 2 women separately. Brackets, fully consensual intercourse. Which in 2019 is the key, all right? No
Mr.
does
John
not
Dory.
mean yes, right? No means no, all right?
Yeah.
He gets all 4 T-shirts
Yeah.
for that. That's a hell of a run.
I feel like he's taking the piss out of himself.
We're giving away our merch. Are we enjoying this? Are we still going? Tins?
Yeah, of course it's all fucking. It's the best fucking fun we've had. Forget that rugby shit these 2 bellends are talking about.
Matthew Adkins. Tindall is painful to listen to. Struggles to construct a sentence. Lots of waffle without any real insight. I was getting pretty bored by this point. And then he goes, and yes, the breathing is annoying. I guess Zoe puts up with it because she's so used to being around horses.
That is why the internet is the best thing ever.
You have to
That's
love
completely
it.
the internet. I'd get that tattooed. I want that on a T-shirt.
That's actually genius.
I want my
Zoe.
face and Zoe puts up with this.
Zoe. Wait,
Can we please have that made up by Monday?
does Zara know about Zoe, or is that are you doing bits on the side? Is that a big revelation? Right. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Niall Doherty. James Haskell, can you please stop ribbing Alex Payne for being posh all the time? It was hardly entertaining the first time, but it's getting tiresome now. Just because he is physically smaller than you does not mean you need to be nasty to him. Why do you need to emphasise class all the time? You need to go back to the James we all know, funny, animated, outspoken, but friendly to all. Who the fuck's that bloke? Sorry, have you had a different James on this show? Because that does not sound like me.
Alex, have a word with your mum.
Yeah. That is a bit weird. Mrs. S. Payne, that is a bit weird. Fucking hell.
I feel a bit like Colleen Rooney in that we've dug to the bottom of who they are. Contextual banter.
Tabloid relevance.
Very good.
You normally read The Guardian, don't you? That's
No. That's very left wing.
Sorry, the Times.
Yeah,
The
Times.
Times.
FT on fruit.
Bearded collie?
Bearded collie.
Is it just me, or is Mike Tindall just a monumental tosspot?
Oh, God.
Accurate.
Okay.
Silence.
Gary. Haskell, you're not funny, so stop trying to be. You're really, really, really not funny. You're an absolute weapon.
Yeah, no t-shirt.
Oh, you can't
Okay,
disagree
I'm
with
going to
that.
build you up.
Fine.
I'm going to build you up for Mabrice. Oh, Mabrice.
Mabrice! Those who know the show know that Mabrice is a very dear friend of ours.
Virgin.
Is she here tonight, out of interest? Mabrice?
Mabrice? No?
No, she hasn't. She
Hiding
has made it
behind
to
that
the show.
keyboard as always. Mike Tindall is so full of shit, and not just about rugby. He comes across as very dim and boring. Haskell, at least, is entertaining.
Hey! Oi, the bloke's telling the truth, isn't it? Like, let's be honest.
No, it's she. It's she. It's she.
Oi, I appeal to women.
In this day and age.
I appeal to
in this
women.
day and
She
age.
doesn't, Mabrice doesn't like being identified with.
Yeah,
it.
they.
Don't pigeonhole her.
Theet, or they, or whatever it is, or it, or them. Or something.
Moving swiftly on, James. Moving
Okay.
swiftly on.
I can't get the right pronoun, I don't know. Right, okay. On Camus, no matter what minute you start listening to House of Rugby, that prick Haskell will be talking.
T-shirt.
Very accurate.
That's very true.
That's
Very, very true.
Very accurate. Mike B. Zara Tindall is so cool. Unfortunately, Mike Tindall is a wanker.
Number 2. Genius.
But just he wasn't quite finished there, and punching well above his considerable weight.
Oh, God, right, okay.
That's amazing.
Okay. Doug H again. I've actually got a mate called Dougie Harrison who listens to this.
Doug
I wonder
H
if that's
has come
him.
for you?
Yeah, Dougie H has come for me. It's a bit weird. Haskell's like a spaniel puppy that's eaten too many sugary snacks. Can House of Rugby buy him a shot collar to calm him down?
Yes!
That would be quite funny. Sigh. Haskell off again.
You'd be permanently.
Problem is, I'm probably trying to wear it at home at night. Oh, don't shot me again.
I fucking love a taser on this show. That'd be great.
that would be. Yeah.
Right. Are you ready? Tins?
Yeah. Not wildebeest, or wildebeest actually. I'd love to take a big, greasy, brasso-slathered cloth and rub Tindall's head until it shines like the sun. Joe, can you make this happen, please?
That's fetishes.
Yeah. And if I was Haskell, I'd say, what cash is in it for me?
Right, Si wants me to read number 6 on here, but it tells you roughly where I live, and judging by the nutters who turned up to the cruiser's house, I ain't let you know, so we'll gloss past that one, but I'll go to my last one.
Airbnb anyway.
T-shirt. T-shirt. T-shirt for the heckler.
Yeah, give it to
T-shirt
him,
for the heckler.
But the address isn't, is it, you little psychopath? So you won't get anywhere near me. Oh, the closest thing you'll get is me giving you that T-shirt, pal, honestly. Right.
Is this your last one?
It's my last one.
All right.
Casio, man. This is actually true. I once saw James Haskell in a coffee shop in Northampton, and he had the worst shoes on I've ever seen in my life. The sort of things that old men wear to drive when they've given up on living. You're 32, man. What's wrong with you? I have the worst shoe game out of anyone ever. Honestly, I've been bullied to an inch of my life for my shoe game. They've been terrible. Most of them are orthopaedic and come with a
Holy
prescription.
shit.
Have you got it?
Mate, that's a
Shitty.
proper, that's Sneeds. That is
Yeah,
jeans and
that's the worst.
shirts.
Yeah.
That is jeans and shirts.
So you won't be able to see, we'll put it on the video, but I actually, when I started dating my now wife, I didn't live in London, so I'd always had a few clothes and bits and pieces in the car, and I decided to get dressed out the back of the car, right? And I went with black smart shoes, boot cut jeans that I found, a free hoodie that I've been given, and a smart shirt. And then we got photographed and ended up in the Daily Mail. So, not an ideal scenario.
And then the nickname.
Got photograph?
Yeah.
Please, I'm out. Photograph me.
Hello, my
Keep
agent.
me relevant.
I think you can get a clothing gig out of this. Can you come and take a picture? I'm dressed up like a fucking.
Yeah, I did. I got I did. I got Giacomo. So fuck. Oh my god.
An unbelievable way to finish.
I know. Just after that,
Purely
otherwise, I was going to say.
Very good. A round of applause, ladies and gents, for our mean tweets.
Came out all right, I think.
Great work, lads. Yeah.
They still love us.
Great work.
I've never enjoyed insulting myself so much.
If If your name has been read out and you are watching this and you would like to claim a T-shirt, just dip back below the line. Let us know that you'd like one.
Yeah,
We'll
come
send
down
one
and
out.
meet us in person. We'll hand the T-shirt over. No,
It's all right.
It's
It's all right. You can punch Haskell in the face as many times as you want.
Not going to do anything anyway.
We'll do
He's
it.
not going to wink at you.
We'll do a meet and greet. I need some sparring partners. I mean to hand some T-shirts out. Let's get them in.
Do you, as a current player, do you get shit online? Do you ignore it? Are you interested? Is it a thing? Which of your teammates get bothered
Which of
by
your
it?
10 followers reviews you?
Settle down.
I'm
Settle
joking.
down.
To be fair, the Twitter stuff you don't really look at, but it's pretty insulting when you get called Andy Goode every 5 minutes. So
That is really bad for you.
At that point, you just go.
At least he's had his lid done, so it's
Yeah,
slightly better,
exact-
but you're still very fat if you're Andy.
Yeah, well, it's when people think you're then related to him. It's even worse at that point. But
Well, the worst thing is they'll ask you about politics because apparently Goody seems to think he knows about
Yeah,
politics.
Loves
if anyone
a bit of
follows
Brexit,
it.
does
Oh
Goody.
my God.
But genuinely,
Goody, shut up.
as a player though, do you ignore it? It's water off a duck's back, or do you know players who are affected by it?
I don't think people are affected too much about Twitter necessarily or comments like that. I think you can't ever let that affect you. You know when you play well, you know when you play badly. You've got people you probably trust in that regard. I certainly wouldn't get in a full Twitter war like Haskell would and get bite a bit and really go for it.
Why do you bite?
Because the world's full of people walking past bad standards and bad people. And every time I do it, someone goes, mate, you're better than that, you're bigger than that. I'm fucking not. I'm not. A prick is a prick, they need to be told them are. And basically the people who come at me have got teeth like burnt fence posts.
Hang on.
Pot kettle here.
Fuck off, these are unbelievable. I take them out and rinse them under the tap. I just send them into the dentist. It's fine. No, I just sometimes every now and then, when someone comes at me and I look at their profile and they've got loads of pictures of cats, or they look like they haven't seen their feet in a few years, right? I just like to they call me a load of things. I'm a human. I get upset. So sometimes you have to sharpen some people up. That's why I do every now and then, just educate them on the right path. And funny enough, most of them fold. What's admirable is the ones that look that bad who keep going. All right, mate, you've lost the battle. But anyway, that's my view. That's why I do it. Yeah. That's all right. Well, I'll just let everyone walk all over each other. That's absolutely fine. Let's all live in a utopian world where, people just shovel shit and we'll just carry on, shall we?
But you do let people punch you and then not respond.
No, I don't. I just don't see it coming. My reactions are dull. Dull from years of rugby.
Hask for PM. Shit, we'd have a lot of fun, wouldn't we? You're pottering out of Downing Street.
I could do better than Boris Johnson. I mean, he's done a few bits on the side. Yeah.
Right. Are you ready for
I thought you were modelling
I like
yourself.
that. Your mum did clap there, which is good.
my mum's good.
She's backing you.
I'm not hearing you.
Yeah, you got to read your things, haven't you?
Yeah.
Well, in all fairness, if Hask did go for PM, everyone knows about his sex life already anyway, so you're not going to come out.
I've had a lot of scandals. I'm overqualified to be a politician.
And that'd be what
You're just not going to find me in a wardrobe with a Popper's laced orange in my mouth. That's the only thing. That's how they mostly get caught, isn't it?
And to be honest, that's another 10 books sold anyways, isn't it?
100%, yeah, exactly.
10 leaflets.
Yeah.
Can't write a book, does he?
Come on, you got to stuff, Alex.
What?
You got to go.
Go what?
Gotta
No,
read yours.
I'm not going to do mine. I'm going to do two.
Well, don't. Why are you chickening out?
What?
Because
It's about you, James. The show's about you.
No, it's not.
James.
You said it wasn't. The name's not above the thing.
No,
We're going to
that's
talk
true.
about that in renegotiation.
Right. Apparently, it's producer side wants me to read out two. I'm
No, be enthusiastic
I'm
about it.
vanilla, Milli Vanilli. The first one from Robert Lloyd, definitely not a family member, who said, "How the fuck can the presenter be posher than the actual granddaughter of the Queen?"
Valid.
Look, you genuinely cannot argue with that. We talk a lot of rubbish on this podcast, but that is the truest statement ever.
It's an arrow of truth.
Yeah. Downton Abbey, explain that to me. How could you be more posh?
What if God?
Wakefield?
This was the week that Vernon presented it. Dear Vernon, we love Vernon. He actually took my O2 gig, and now he's muscling on this gig as well. So
Do we need to...
Yeah.
What?
Well,
Do we need to let him come
You're
on?
fucking useless. I said it in long
Just
before
has
you.
to stand there and wink at him.
Yeah, you need to
Did
read
they
number
get-
3.
What? Did they get rid of the usual presenter? I think that's a good move. He's cringy and pathetic in a way that he tries hard to fit in.
Yeah, Yeah, but that's the thing is that's a bit nasty because I imagine that's sort of
That's a
an
bit
indication of your
nasty.
no, because that's kind of a story of your entire school career, isn't it? I imagine.
Yeah.
Like little posh bloke with
just
little
the end
shorts
bit.
on.
You
Just the end
will,
bit,
you
trying
will
to fit
never,
in. Fit in,
you will
yeah.
never move out of upper sixth, will you?
No.
That is where that was your
No, but
heyday.
imagine that, right? Imagine this, right?
Number 3,
Imagine
eh?
that, right?
Thank you. Thank you.
No, let's just paint a picture. No.
Shush.
Let's just paint a picture, right? All the proper lads, right? The non-virgins, right? We're all chatting, and little Lord Fauntleroy turns up on his penny farthing, right? With his thing. Hello, chaps. Hello, fellas. We just be like that. Should we fill him in again? So you know.
What's the point?
Well, you just don't fit in, do you? Because you're horrible and posh, and you look down your nose at everyone. Yeah, I said it.
Hang on.
I said it.
You've lost your crowd.
Yeah.
You've gone below the line.
Oh, have I? Yeah, you. Below the belt. Fancy a jewel, sir?
You know he carries gloves.
Yeah, he carries a small cannonette like a bloke from Blackadder.
It's a blunderbuss.
Stokers at the ready.
It's a blunderbuss. Final one with lots of love from Dario. A message to all of you Alex Payne haters. I'd rather watch Alex teabag my lovely old mother. Kitten bar.
Yeah.
On the hour, every hour, than listen to James Haskell and Mike Tindall ramble their way through a string of pointless stories any day of the week.
I hate to point out.
You're sacked. Come back
Yeah,
next
but
week.
I hate to
Goody,
point
we'll have
out.
a time.
I hate to point out, but this entire show is us meandering through crap on stories.
That's very true.
If we took the stories out, what are we left with?
It's me saying hello and goodbye, which is not a great podcast. Right.
Well, you could branch into Antiques Roadshow with your poshness. Here we have a Spode plate from the Ming Dynasty. Could be.
Genuinely, I am available if anyone out there at the Antiques Roadshow is watching.
Songs of praise.
Songs of praise.
Yeah, it's more your
We're
part.
walking in the air. Right, time for this week's perfect pour. You're going to be the Simon Cowell of this. You
Okay.
have the casting vote.
So
Ladies
pull
and
my
gentlemen,
trousers up then.
it's time for this week's perfect pour. Together with our friend Arthur Guinness, it takes on a slightly different feel this week. Last time that we were in a live environment, we played the FaceTime challenge.
Shining that head.
We had some various. Did you actually get anyone who came back to you having basically no one picked up the
Ryland
phone?
apologised.
Who?
Ryland apologised.
Right, yeah.
Tom Holland still hasn't replied. No. Stuart Broad, I got who's this? New phone. So, you know.
Right. Okay.
But actually, do you know what? Bizarrely, I found Nicholas Holt in there, you know, from About a Boy.
Yep.
Obviously not when he was About a Boy, because that'd be weird. But when he was Beast from you know, the X-Men.
Yeah.
I didn't call him, so I went through a phone.
So you're loaded for next time.
Yeah, if a game comes back, I'll be primed and ready like a coiled spring. I'll show you.
Yeah. We're not doing that this week. We've got a very simple competition. It is Hask against Tins. They've got
Feather mitts.
They've got 119 and a half seconds, because that's how long it takes to pour the perfect pint of Guinness, to woo you with their best karaoke performance. Who would like to get Tins as a member of the royal family? You can call whether to go first or second.
Well, everyone's heard mine, haven't they? Unless they've not
You've had
listened
a week
to
to
live.
prepare. Have you got nothing other than the go-to? Do the go-to.
I
you
need the
fucking
lyrics.
nail it.
I need
You
the
know.
lyrics.
Yeah, but the go-to's easy.
Let me go first. Because
Okay,
you're going to win anyway.
you can go.
Right,
you
okay.
go first.
We're going to judge. We're going to have a bit.
If it's
we're
as
gonna have a
bad as
cheer
I
at
think
the
it'll
end.
be, then I'll go for something different.
Right,
I'll
do
challenge
one of you
myself.
take this and right.
Calm down.
Do you want to stand
this
up
even
in the
working?
middle?
Surely I win to start off with. He's got to fucking read the
What are you
lyrics.
doing? You're not
Yeah.
reading the
Well, no, I
lyrics.
just want to make sure because I don't know all the verse. Okay,
So it's 119 and a half seconds. Producer Si is
No
going
joining
to...
in.
Is this mic working?
Yeah, no, you can join in. You can join in.
Don't join in.
Do join in.
La.
We are voting
I'm
on...
walking in the air.
We're voting on...
That's a great start.
I'm walking in. Why do you build me? No, I'm joking. Right,
We're
ready?
voting on
this-
best song
is this a
choice, best
remix?
singing and best stage performance.
You never close your eyes anymore when I kiss your lips. 'Cause there's no tenderness like before in your fingertips. I'm trying hard not to show it, baby. 'Cause baby, I know feeling. Whoa, that loving feeling.
Come on.
You lost that loving feeling, now it's gone, gone, gone. Whoa.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Haskell.
Thank you. And that is the exact song that Chris Robshaw stitched me up with on my 50th cap after he lost the Grand Slam, and I had to serenade a load of Welsh female committee members. They loved it. Stuart Lancaster, not so much.
Can we have just a cheer for James Haskell?
What do we want?
Are you ready?
Oh,
What have you got?
Have you got a range? Have
Put
you?
it out there and we'll have a cheer for what the requests are. We're taking requests.
No. Do we want to sing along?
Yes.
American Pie?
Yes!
Well, American Pie? Angels?
Well, I'm about to say that.
Sit and wait.
That's very high.
There's an angel contemplate my faith. But do you know the places where we go when we're gray and old? 'Cause I've been told that salvation lets my wings unfold. So when I'm lying in my bed, things running through my head, and I feel that love is dead, I'm loving angels instead. Everybody! And through it all, she offers me protection, a lot of love and affection, whether I'm right or wrong, and down the waterfall, wherever it may take me, I know that life won't break me. When there comes a call, she won't forsake me. I'm loving angels instead.
Ladies and gents, Mr. Mike Tindall!
Well done. Wow. There's only one winner.
Found out one thing I can't do, so I'm only a quadruple threat, never mind.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm toilet, but I knew that was the case, but you know.
You're ballsy though, and you grab it and you run with it.
Oh, that's like the story of my career. Limited talent, just a lot of hard work.
You fucking lad.
God loves a try.
God loves a try. But
Shall we have? Let's have a little sort of a barometer test, ladies and gentlemen. A cheer for Mr. James Haskell, and a cheer for Mr. Mike Tindall. You can have the James Haskell's House of Rugby this week, but he gets the accolade for the best
Thank you very much.
song choice.
There's no time, mate. No time.
He's lost his voice.
What's that?
Holding your handbag like.
He specifically said he's lost his voice recently, and
unfortunately, I'm the judge. Our attention's
producer
unbelievable.
Si's sadly run out of time, so
It's not my fault.
you fucking owe me big time. You owe me big time. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for our live show this week. I hope you had a good time. That's the main thing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to the House of Rugby on Joe, together with our friend Arthur Guinness. And thank you to our wonderful, wonderful audience here at Flatiron Square. Give yourselves a massive cheer. Cheers. A special cheer to our friends from Dublin. Good evening to you. I would like everyone just to raise a glass for a friend of mine who was a huge fan of the show, who very sadly isn't with us this week, but a huge cheer for Brett, please, ladies and gents. Good on you, Brett. You absolute superstar. Have a drink with us, wherever it is you might now be. Don't forget to download some of Joe's other programming that you might have missed, including Liquid Football with the wonderful Kelly Cates and TK with Carl Frampton. For the next 3 weeks, would you believe it, they are sending us to Japan.
What could possibly go wrong? I said to Tim before we came on the show, we got, Gav, the head of sponsorship, does everything. I didn't name check him when we were mugging him off. He's kind of the fun police / with Si. I said to Tins that if we aren't on the front page of the Sun by the end of our trip.
He's not head of sponsorship, he's MD of Joe. So,
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you want to read the memo.
Well then, Gav, on the
Thank
promotion.
you very much for the last show. Well, I Gav.
It's definitely not.
Shit, I thought
Do your own research.
I thought you made the teas. Accents will happen in the workplace.
How long have you done this show for?
We'll be back next week with Alex Goode and Mike Tindall, ladies and gents.
Don't get me wrong. You do some stuff with the cash and the sponsorship. Then he does. Yeah, I'm not far off. Not far off.
Yeah.
Potato.
Would you believe it? Next week we're going to be joined, hopefully, although they might be running a mile, by Brian O'Driscoll, Brian Habana, and Christian Cullen. I did something with Brian this week. Shh. Is it my friend who's still going?
Yeah, no. It's the bloke who looks a bit like Father Christmas, but got no lid.
Hold on, Santa. Your time is coming. Dricko told a very, very funny story about 2011.
Dricko, you good friends with him, are you?
The great Brian O'Driscoll.
Yeah.
Just reverse out of that. The great Brian O'Driscoll told a very funny story about 2011, which we'll get to next week.
The week before my story.
Yeah.
What? The week before your story.
Got there,
it dovetails nicely.
It always gets there before
There's
me.
a lovely synergy. Brian Habana too. We're going to be doing 2 live shows a week. We're going to be in the centre of Tokyo. We're going to be doing live shows on the 22nd and the 29th of October. If you're out in Tokyo, come and play. We're going to announce the venue on next week's edition. We're losing the live crowd, but just stay with us for 30 seconds if you would. And it's going to be on the Facebook page as well. So live shows, 22nd, 29th. Come and play if you're in Tokyo. We're going to have a lot of fun. Have a free Guinness in the Matchpoint app and enjoy the rest of your evening. Ladies and gents, that is it. Some bonus pods while we're out in Tokyo as well. Thank you to Mike, thank you to Haskell, as always. Thank you to the greatest tourist, Mr. Alex Goode, for being our special guest this evening. Thank you to you as well. You've been a wonderful audience this evening. Safe journeys home, and we'll see you again sometime soon. Thank you for watching and listening. Good night.
You've been watching the House of Rugby on Joe, together with Guinness. Drink responsibly. Visit drinkaware.co.uk for the facts.